Hey friends, Andrea here. This is just going to be a video to quickly show off some of my cards that I made for Mother's Day as part of my 1000 cards challenge. And I'm planning on just keeping a few of these. I have like one mom and one grandma to send these out to, but I have a few other mothers in my life that I might want to give one to. My boyfriend might want to give one to his mother, and maybe his sister-in-law or his sister would want one. So I've got a few people that I can give them to. It's not just like I'm going to keep one. But I don't plan on stopping. I plan on making more Mother's Day cards. This is just what I created. I decided when I was stamping my sentiments to just keep on stamping a whole bunch of them, and I planned on donating them to people in my local Buy Nothing group, or just giving them to other mothers in our lives. So I will go ahead and start with the sharing here. So this one is just a lovely card. I think this paper is so beautiful. It reminds me of like a wallpaper, and those beautiful sketched out florals, the colors, they're just so lovely. So I pulled out a piece of scrap from my scrap pile, which I think I talked about in another video, but I basically just have like this plastic bag full of scraps and things in here. And there's actually a smaller bag of scraps inside the bag of scraps. And so it's got even, this is like more specific types of scraps, but anytime I have something that I stamp on, or just like a little piece that I cut off, I set it aside and I put it in my bag, and then I try to use from that occasionally. So anyway, I pulled out this kind of just glitter paper, looks like this, and this paper has seen better days, but it's been in my stash for a super long time. I think at least 10 years. So anyway, long story, I basically trimmed down my Mother's Day sentiment into like a little banner, and then I backed it onto that same color glitter paper. And I felt like that glitter paper it's not quite the exact same color as that red, but it was pretty close, so I thought it went pretty well. And then I used a little bit of glitter glue in the centers of all of the flowers. And I just thought that added some extra sparkle to kind of go with the glitter on the background of this sentiment mat. So that's one. This music paper has been in my stash for a really long time. I forget the name of the paper pad that it's from, but it has a lot of really pretty floral papers and music note papers. So I knew I wanted to try and use it. I kind of went through, I have a bunch of papers that are already kind of cut into certain, they're already just cut down to fit a card. I'm trying to grab them so I can show you. They're just like already cut to fit on a card mat. So you can see I still have some of these left, but I just went in and grabbed some of those that are already cut and then glued them down. And then I had a bunch of just white cardstock. So I made a bunch of cards, and then I glued my card mat down, and then I thought, well, it's such a beautiful paper, it needs something else, but not much. It's so busy already with all the stuff going on in it, with all the colors. It's got embossing, it's got glitter, it's got lots of pattern on it. So I didn't want it to be too busy and get really distracted. So I just kept it really simple with this sentiment on this little kind of peachy pink, peachy red colored matte background paper, and then I added some glitter glue to the four corners. So that's how that one turned out. That came out really cute. And then this paper, I think it's kind of a fun, almost like a 70s vibe floral, and the glitter embossed paper is so pretty. So I just decided that that paper needed to stand out again because it's so busy, and there's already got lots of embossing and glitter going on. So I kept it simple with that same Mother's Day sentiment, and I have orange paper that's kind of similar to the paper, to the color in the background paper. And then again, I just did my four glitter glue dots on the corners. So this paper, I think it came with a set of papers that had a whole bunch of cut aparts, and it was sort of like fiesta themed, I want to say, and it I have some little ones already kind of trimmed down, but it had some like llamas and some cute suns and kind of like that same mustard yellow going on. So anyways, all these are going to become cards eventually. I tried to prep a lot of cut out stuff. That way I can just do cards in batches because that's the way I work best. But anyways, I'm getting off track. But most of these papers, actually all of these papers came from that set. And it has just lots of lovely patterns in it. So I had these pre-cut down to the right size. I glued them down. I had this kind of like a, I don't know what color you'd call that, like magenta colored cardstock, and I just glued the Mother's Day sentiment onto that in a banner cutout. And then I felt like it was needing something else. After I put down the washi, I felt like the washi kind of went with that. It's a similar style of flower on the washi tape as is in the background paper, but it just was missing something. So because I had gold washi, I decided to go with gold glitter, and I just kind of added some glitter to, there's these little polka dots throughout the paper, and so I just added to a few of those randomly throughout the paper just to give it some extra sparkle. And then I added the 3 dots of glitter glue, gold glitter glue to the banner, and I think that turned out really pretty. Simple but pretty. And then I did the same technique, and on this card, this I'm pretty happy with because I used this little matte, it's kind of a dark brown color. I used that from my scrap pile, the bag that you saw, and then it was a little bit torn. So I decided to just take a Sharpie, a brown Sharpie, and color in the torn part just so I wouldn't have to throw it away. It could still be used. So I used some metallic gold skinny washi, and then I went in with my gold glitter and applied that all over, and then I did the 4 corners, and I'm really happy with how this one came out. It's so super simple again, but very elegant, I think, and is cute. And this stamping wasn't my best, but if you're just looking at the card as a whole, you don't even notice like that the stamping is a little bit, I don't know, watery. I don't know how to explain that, but I think it was because I had washed the stamp off and then went and stamped it, and it was kind of like hazy looking. But when you compare the two up close, you can kind of see the difference. But if you're just looking from back here, it's hardly noticeable. So anyways, just because your stamping doesn't turn out perfect in your eyes, that doesn't mean it can't be used, is what I'm trying to say here. So this one has, I think it has some of that bright yellow. It's almost a mustard yellow, but I felt like it could be put onto this bright yellow cardstock. And there's a story behind this bright yellow cardstock that I'll probably just tell you right now because it's funny. But anyway, the bright yellow cardstock I've had since probably 2001. I tried to have a jewelry business a long time ago, and the bright yellow was part of my brand color. We'll say. It still is part of my brand color, so it must be something about bright yellow. But anyway, so I had bought like a big package of bright yellow paper. I think I might have bought 2 big packages from Staples or Office Max or somewhere like that, and it's just cardstock. And I used it to print out my business cards. I used it to print out labels and tags and all kinds of stuff. But it sat abandoned at my mom's house for a really long time, and then I was over there recently, maybe like December, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I have all this cardstock. I know you're doing that 1,000 cards challenge. Do you want to take some of this paper with you?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess." So I took it, and I've been struggling to find how to use it just because it's so bright. I think it could be great as an accent too, but I felt like using it as the card base would make it used up more quickly. So anyways, that's the story behind that. I have like a million sheets of paper, of that bright yellow paper left. So I'm trying to incorporate it with papers that have some yellow in them where it wouldn't be too bad of a contrast. It would blend well. Anyway, long story for that, but basically that's why that is on a super bright yellow colored card. I think it turned out nicely. I'm really happy with it. So this paper has this kind of gold foiling on the center of the flowers, which is really pretty. And the flowers are tiny and delicate. So I wanted to keep the, I guess, that delicacy and the elegance of that pretty little flowers going. And I chose a really pastel pink color for my card mat. And there is some pastel pink in some of the flowers. You can see here some of these little teeny tiny flowers are that same exact pastel pink. So it's a color that's already in the background. And that's a tip that if you're making cards in bulk or just making cards and you find that like, oh, that color is in the background paper, that's a really helpful way to just make a mat for your sentiment or add like a contrasting strip of washi. I try to always use a color that's already on the background. So anyway, this is a glitter paper, this pastel pink. It's glittered and embossed. So just like the this pink one, or I guess it's kind of like a peachy pink salmon, I have some more of this pink, and they came in little strips like this, and it came in a big fat stack. So I have a ton of it because it turned out that's really hard to cut through. So you need to have a really sharp knife or a really sharp pair of scissors or a really sharp paper trimmer. And it's hard to get it even because sometimes when you're trimming it, because it's embossed, it kind of cracks. So it's been difficult to work with, and so I found that making straight cuts is the best. Anyway, I used that as my card mat for the next few of them because I felt like, okay, now I have a pattern or I have a color palette that works. So I just went in with the glitter glue, that gold glitter glue, to kind of bring out the gold in the paper from the little foil dots, and I think that looks nice, delicate, and simple. And then I did the same kind of concept with this one, except I had this Mother's Day sentiment on a banner. I chose to just do it on a banner style, and then I did the mat in a banner style as well, just to kind of keep that theme going. And then I did the 3 gold glitter dots at the bottom. Just feels like it ties it together. So that came out cute. And then I did the exact same thing with the second card, because why stop if you have a good thing going? So the same card, it's the exact same. And then this one is almost exactly the same as this other one. Just a slightly smaller sentiment on this one. I just trimmed it down smaller for whatever reason. Sometimes I have like little scraps of paper that I trim down off of things, and I save them in an envelope up here on my desk, and then I just stamp on them, so that way I don't have to stamp a whole bunch of times and then trim it down, because I'm, already just using a scrap. So that's what I did with that, and then the four glitter glue dots of the gold. So that's how that one turned out. And then when I started doing that with the banners and the mats and the gold glitter dots, when I turned to this paper, which is absolutely just beautiful, I felt like I had to do the same thing just to kind of keep that going. It worked really well. So these two are made with like a piece of that, I don't know what color you'd call that. It's almost a salmon. It's like not quite an orange, but it's not quite a pink. So it's just like salmon, I guess. So anyway, that pinky color is exactly the same as that pinky color, pinky orange color in the card. And I wanted to, just like this, some of the other cards that are in here, I wanted to put it on the card somewhere, but not have it be in competition with the actual same color. So I moved the banner up here to the top, just so it doesn't have to compete directly with that same color, and also so it doesn't cover up this beautiful foiling on this flower. So the card background is so lovely, it doesn't need much else. It's already pretty busy, and I didn't want to cover up a ton of the floral patterns, so I just did that, and then I did the 3 gold glitter dots. So that turned out really nicely. And then I just did the same idea with that banner, and instead of doing it vertically, I did it horizontally. Same concept, trying to make sure that I don't cover up one of the flowers that is that exact same color, and not cover up too much of the foiling. This paper is just gorgeous. I feel like I keep saying that. So then this one, I didn't have enough left of the that peachy paper because that was from a scrap. So I used some of this. Again, this is just scrap too, so I just used some of that. It's not quite the same color, but it's close enough that it blends out pretty well. And it's that glitter paper, embossed glitter paper. And then I didn't do a banner because I feel like, you know, it just looks nice on its own as a square in this case. I just wanted something a little different. And that's the nice thing when you're doing like bulk card making. You know, these 3 cards aren't exactly the same, but they, oh, it's not focusing. They're not exactly the same, but they do have similar design concepts, I guess. The similar color palette, same sentiment, same 3 glitter glue in gold dots, you know, or in this case on the corners, but they're not all exactly the same. So just like this, you know, I mean, in this case, these 2 are the exact same, but this isn't the same, and this isn't quite the same either. And these 2, they're not quite the same, but they're close. So that's just something that I think you can do when you're doing bulk card making. You can still use the same palette, the same color palette, same techniques, but get some different varieties of cards so that you don't bore yourself making the exact same card 15 times or whatever. But they all have a similar feel to them because of the patterns. The paper's all from the same pack, so it has kind of a unifying theme, at least for these ones, but I think that they all turned out really nicely. So let's count out how many cards I made here of these Mother's Day cards. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 Mother's Day cards, and I could probably keep going because you saw that stack of beautiful papers that I have. Sorry, I'm trying to reach. It's up on a shelf. I have a ton more of these papers. I have a ton more of this paper. I think this paper pad had like 3 sheets of this floral, so I could probably make a ton more of those. I have some stuff with like beautiful copper foil on it, and some brown embossed glitter, lots of florals in here. I tried to pick out florals because those felt like Mother's Day to me. And here's a bunch more of that same pink floral, like, I don't know, music note paper, I guess. So I have a ton of that still left over. I could make like a million Mother's Day cards. I just don't think I need that many. I do think I'll make some more, but I don't necessarily need to make this whole stack as Mother's Day cards because they can turn out to be hello cards or thank you cards. But I can definitely make some more. I think this one would be nice as another card. I have a lot of this same glitter cardstock that I can use, so I just need to get to stamping really and stamp out my sentiments and make those cards. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you are enjoying this video of, or this process rather, of me making this 1,000 cards. What did I just say? I have 12 cards, so that's 12 cards towards my 1,000 cards challenge. I'm excited to just see how far I get with this 1,000 cards challenge because in the blink of an eye, it was January to now it's May, and I feel like I haven't made as much progress on my 1,000 cards as I thought I was going to. But maybe it's just because I haven't been documenting it very well. So I'm going to try and do more of these card shares so you can see what I've been working on, and maybe that will help me keep track of it a little bit better. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also there's like a little bell icon that you can click on and that will help notify you when I post new videos. So if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you're clicking on that bell to subscribe and be notified when I post a video. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.